1,000 years ago, before the space program, or flight was invented, or Galileo looked towards the stars, this land was invaded. They brought with them unimaginable technology and created enormous structures so that they could communicate with a higher being. These architects and engineers were working for their boss, God the Builder. But amidst the beauty of this edifice which summoned the people to worship, there lies a dark story of tragedy. I'm Tony Cleary, and I'm an architect, and I've been practicing in Norfolk for over 45 years. And the thing that fascinates me is that you can walk into a field anywhere in Norfolk and see 3 church towers. Despite its size and grandeur, Wymondham Abbey is the parish church of the town, and it's dedicated to St Mary and St Thomas of Canterbury. Historical events have left their mark on every part of this extraordinary building. Like most old churches, Wymondham Abbey has changed many times through the centuries. And why 2 towers? Well, that's when the story really begins. When the Normans first brought their stone over from Caen in France, it was already cut to size, packed in boxes, put in boats and brought over the sea, ready to lay in place. The first design had only 1 tower. William d'Aubigny, or to use the Latin version of his name d'Albini, intended that it should be used by the Benedictine black monks, and initially there were only 12 priests, and they were to share the church with the parishioners. In due course, the monastery was to become a major building project, but the post-Reformation foundations are just lumps in the ground. Determined to have their way, the monks now rebuilt the unstable central tower to what we see today and closed off the church to the parishioners with a thick, solid wall. Meanwhile, what of the monks? Well, they did very nicely out of it because they were all pensioned off. They went on growing their fruit and vegetables, and they sold them to the people in Wymondham on the marketplace, just as they've always done. The main Norman aisle stayed in plan only, but the outer walls were rebuilt in the Gothic style. And when this remarkable north aisle was built, even wider than the main aisle, then this dark, sombre Norman structure became much lighter and could seat up to 1,000 people. The other changes brought about by the Protestant Reformation was doing away with stone altars, the introduction of the English Book of Common Prayer, which replaced the Latin services, the removal of all statuary and images of saints, and the adornment of vestments. It all became lighter, but duller from the point of view of artwork, until stained glass windows started to appear on the north and south aisles. Box pews were introduced for the wealthy, but the poor had to go to the wall and sit around the perimeter of the church on stone seats. One fact is clearly evident, that this building has stood the test of time despite its entire history. At least it gave work to craftsmen and skilled workers and left us with hundreds of medieval buildings that are the envy of the world. But in these churches, there are stories to be told and mysteries to be solved. As an architect, that's what I intend to do next.